hello, sir, and welcome back. Welcome to anybody watching this after the fact. Where our story so far, where we left off last week, was the great final battle between Pompey and Caesar. And if we took away anything from the results of that battle, is apparently the work of a general is never done. And I think you're going to tell us a little bit more about that tonight, are you not?
A bit, yes. We're going to talk about the Battle of Zela in 47 BC. But before we get to that, let's catch up on the misadventures of Julius Caesar. As we discussed last week, Pompey flees the battle pursued by Caesar, and Pompey flees to Egypt. But upon arriving in Egypt and asking for sanctuary, he's actually murdered by King Ptolemy XIII in an attempt to placate Caesar. When Caesar arrives in Alexandria, he stays to try and help resolve a bit of an Egyptian civil war that's going on between Ptolemy and his sister, Cleopatra. As things break down there, the Caesar and the city come under siege by Ptolemy after Caesar starts really kind of siding with Cleopatra in these issues. While all this is going on, however, across the empire, the Republic, some of Caesar's victories are starting to come undone. Pharsalis seemed to be crumbling. Rome was being governed by Antony at the time, and it was in total chaos. Back in North Africa, where the Caesarian forces had lost, Pompey's forces are starting to gather strength and rebuild a large army. There are pro-Pompeian insurrections in both Spain and Illyria. So Caesar's really got a lot of work to do before he can really lay claim to the Republic. Now, eventually, with reinforcements from Asia Minor, led by Mithridates of the Pergamon, Caesar defeats Ptolemy at the Battle of the Nile in February of 47 BC. So with Egypt well in hand, he places Cleopatra on the throne as a co-ruler with another one of her brothers, Ptolemy XIV, who was only 12 years old at this time. And then Caesar just sort of lingers in Egypt for a few months with no real discernible reason, probably just to help, make sure that Cleopatra is settled in everything. But while he's taking care of all this, some problems are developing to the north in Asia Minor. Pharnaces II of the Kingdom of Bosphorus wants to expand his rule over Asia Minor. So he launches raids and attacks Roman allies in Lesser Armenia and Cappadocia. Caesar's allies, Gnaeus Domitius Calvinus, commands 3 legions in the area. Now, Domitius was one of his generals in the battle with Pompey, and he was the one that went east to delay Pompey's forces coming from Syria. Domitius tries to negotiate and then battle with Pharnaces, but he's ultimately defeated. Pharnaces capitalizes on this victory, seizing his father's old kingdom of Pontus, which Pompey had claimed for Rome a few years earlier. He storms a number of Roman-held towns, puts Roman citizens to the sword, castrates Roman boys, plunders the treasury. I mean, basically, anything he can do to really stick it to Caesar, he does. However, for him, he's not able to fully enjoy this victory and complete his invasion, as he has to deal with his own insurrection to the north, led by his son-in-law, Asander. So he has to pull back, and this gives Caesar time to respond. Upon hearing of Domitius' defeat, Caesar travels north through Syria and Cilicia, but in each region he's delayed for a few days, settling some local politics and making sure everybody's okay and doing a lot of hand-holding, because heavy is the crown on the, I don't know. He's got a lot on his plate, the Caesar guy. So by the end of July in 47 BC, Caesar gets to Asia Minor, and he combines his depleted 6th Legion with the remnants of Domitius' army, which is the Pontic Legion and the 36th Legion. So it gives him a total of about 15,000 men. Pharnaces' army is larger and more experienced at this point. So this is probably going to be a very long, drawn-out campaign for Caesar in Asia Minor. So he's getting ready to be in here for the long haul. But Pharnaces knows that Caesar's under pressure to really try and wrap this up as soon as possible because he's got so many other problems going on around the Republic. So he tries to delay Caesar by sending numerous peace envoys to him and saying, oh no, everything's cool and all that. Caesar responds like, sure, if you want peace, then you need to surrender, return all of your stolen treasure and all of your taken lands, and I'll consider it. And of course, Pharnaces agrees to these outrageous terms that he has no intention of honoring. Eventually, Caesar sees through this delay for what it is and does what Caesar does best and turns on the buzzsaw and goes after him. That brings us to Zela, which is a small hilltop town in modern-day northern Turkey. Pharnaces had made his camp by here because this was the site of a famous victory won by his father against the Romans years earlier. And his camp he establishes outside the town is in a strong defensive position on the high ground. He's got a road linking his camp to Zela to maintain a steady stream of supplies. And he's got a valley protecting his flank. So he's in a very good spot. Caesar is about 5 miles away from this location, but once his scouts come back to him and report on Pharnaces' camp, Caesar is determined to seize the highest ground opposite the valley from Pharnaces. So he marches his men there without their baggage train to try and seize the ground. Caesar gets there in due order and immediately begins constructing ramparts. And then, out of nowhere, Pharnaces draws his army out of camp and starts marching them down the valley and across the river and up the valley towards Caesar's camp. And Caesar is kind of baffled by this because why would you be marching up rocky terrain against a defended position, even though his defenses are still under construction? So Caesar draws up at least one line of infantry to protect his workers, thinking that there's no way Pharnaces is going to attack. This is a terrible position, but he keeps on coming. And this so baffles Caesar that initially it works because this is ludicrous. Who would do this? So it takes Caesar a few minutes to gather his forces and prepare for a counterattack. Caesar's forces begin to form up. Pharnaces has scythes chariots, which he races forward to try and cut through Caesar's lines, but they are going through some very difficult ground. And they immediately come under a withering hail of fire from Caesar's archers. Caesar's men finally form that complete battle line with the 6th Legion on the right, the 36th Legion on the left, and the Pontic Legion in the center. Now, despite having this terrain advantage over Pharnaces, Pharnaces' veterans put up quite a bit of a bitter fight. But eventually, the height advantage really starts to work towards Caesar's advantage, and they begin to force their opponents back. Pharnaces' lines begin to buckle, and soon the center and the left are forced down the slope. As these men are retreating, they're losing their footing on this uneven and rocky ground, and they're being crushed by their retreating comrades and the advancing Caesarian armies. And then when they get to the other side of the valley, they just surrender their weapons so they could climb up the hill to try and get away. Caesar, of course, shows no mercy and just has his men pursue and cut them down. So almost all of this superior army is killed or captured, but Pharnaces himself managed to escape, and Caesar, of course, only takes light casualties. Pharnaces actually goes back to his Bosparian kingdom and starts to recruit another army to invade once more, but then he is defeated and killed by his son-in-law, Asander, who had initially revolted against him earlier. So this campaign, which was supposed to take months, is done in 5 days. It took Ptolemy 3 years of campaigning in Asia Minor to secure this. So Caesar never wanted to miss out on an opportunity for a little bragging, simply sends notice back to Rome about his exploits with 3 words: Vidi, Vidi, Vici, which I think the 1984 translation turns out to be I came, I saw, I kicked its ass. So there we go. That is the Battle of Zela.
That does ring a bell,
So
yes.
why don't you go ahead and open up the War Council and tell us how this is going to go tonight?
Well, thank you for that. Yes, this is the Battle of Zela, 47 BC. I will start with the Pontic army here on the top side of the map. I will get 4 command cards for my inferiority, apparently. But I will get to move first, and Peter will lead the Caesarian army under Julius Caesar. He will have 6 very useful command cards, I'm sure. Probably at least one of them being a mounted charge. I can only.
So you say all this, but as we saw last week, with 4 cards against 6 cards, you
Well,
can pull out
well,
a miracle.
yes. Well, spoilers. If you haven't watched last week's, go back and watch the Battle of Pharnaces.
Yeah, first battle was really short.
Yeah. Well, it happens. Our special rules tonight, the Julian Legion rules, is in effect for the Romans, of course, and Julius Caesar's there, so we have the Julius Caesar rule, which gives them the extra battle die, and whatever unit he's attached to can move 2 hexes and still battle. And the only other additional one, these 3 camp hexes here at the top, when a unit occupies an enemy camp, we actually have camps on both sides. If a unit occupies that enemy camp at the start of their turn, then they get a victory banner that cannot be lost, and we will remove that camp terrain hex from the board. So it is possible that the Romans can get up to 3 victory banners for occupying Pharnaces camp, and it looks like the Pontic army can get at least 1 banner for occupying Caesar's camp down there at the very bottom. That's all there is to it. It's a 7-banner battle tonight, so as we have seen in previous sessions, you never know how that's going to go. The dice...
Oh, I
No,
know.
you don't. The dice could be hot, the dice could be cold. But we do have, since we're using the Middle Eastern blocks here, the Eastern Kingdoms blocks, we've got some things we haven't seen in quite a long time. We have heavy chariots to represent the scythed chariots that Pharnaces has, and we also have heavy cavalry up there, which it has been a very long time since we've seen those in play. Otherwise, we've got a normal assortment of light, medium, and heavy infantry troops. And there are nothing else of any... Nope, everything else is pretty standard. So it's just the heavy chariots and the heavy cavalry. Just as a quick review on those, the heavy chariots, they move... Let's see, look them up here.
They move 2.
They move 2. They attack at a strength of 4, and they defend at a strength of 3. They can ignore a sword hit, and they can be supported by 2 other units. They can ignore a flag that way, and they may always evade against any foot units, and if we had elephants, they could evade against those as well. Heavy cavalry is basically the same thing. The only difference is they don't have the lesser defense die. Their close combat is always 4 dice. And they can advance and move 1 additional hex like regular cavalry before they battle again. But both units can advance and then have a second battle. And they have a retreat of 2 hexes if they are forced to retreat. So those are uncommon blocks for tonight. So I think we're ready to go here. I'm going to draw up my cards. My 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I have my 4 cards. And I think I am ready to go, so I will wish you good luck, sir.
Good luck to you as well.
And what do I wish to do here? I think this is a very interesting thing, so I think I will open up here with a mounted charge.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yes. So I can do 4. We will have the heavies go 1, 2, 1, 2, and then go 1, 2, 1, and 2.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'll come right to the center there. All right. So we'll start with this heavy chariot.
5 dice.
5 dice. Right for the center. So 5 dice. And we get 2 hits.
Battling back with 3 dice. Nothing.
Okay. And this one will attempt to finish the center there with 5 dice. And get absolutely nothing. Yes. Sad, really.
Ooh.
Okay. So
2 retreats.
2 retreats. So that's got to be 4 hexes. So they will go 1, 2, 3, and then lose a block. That was unfortunate. That could have gone better. All right, back to you.
Wow. Gonna do some double time here. Those 4.
Yikes. All right, we'll evade that.
All right, 5 dice.
Yeah. So there we go.
All right.
I think we'll do 2 in the center. And it will be these 2. Pharnaces will jump onto that heavy cavalry there. Next order. Back to you.
Oh. Ooh. Order those 2. Actually, I'm going to order these 2.
I think we'll do a mounted charge.
My goodness.
Can't let you have all the fun.
I certainly can't criticize the strategy. I mean, it's just what you do to win the game.
Right. Okay. So go with this one first against Caesar. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So this is going to be 6 dice.
Ah, you got him.
Just barely.
Okay. And a heavy cavalry here. We'll have 5 dice against Caesar with a leader bonus. So here we go. 3 hits.
So you got 3.
Here's a Caesar check. He is okay.
And in retaliation,
2 hits.
2 hits. And you got to take one of those retreats.
All right. Give me a leader check.
Oh, yeah. I might have to take 2 of these retreats.
Ooh, close.
Ah, you're good.
All right, so it goes back there. All right. Go ahead and draw your card. All right.
Three in the center. So, all right. Well, I've got one more activation then. So, I'll bring that guy over.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. We'll do that.
Sure. We'll do 2 on the right. We will throw a spear at your mediums. Getting nothing. He will do likewise. Getting a hit.
I'm just going to activate those 4. Go after those
We'll
lights.
evade that.
Who are getting cut down as they try and scramble down the rocks. And those?
Same.
Another bloody retreat. Okay then.
Two in the center. Let's go with this. Do 4 dice plus leader bonus. Oh, nothing.
I'll ignore the flag of my leader. Come back at you with 4 dice.
Brittle. Glass cannon. Alright, here's a same target, 4 dice plus leader bonus. 3 hits.
Much better.
And here's leader check. He's okay.
Just barely.
Well, he might pick up the leader. He's okay. Back to where he started.
Well. 2 on the left.
Do a move, fire, move. And these blokes will go there. They'll go there. Alright. So throw in 1 die for each of these. Let's start here. 1 die of your mediums. 1 medium cavalry. Nothing. Let's see if we can't get a flag on this one. Nothing. Alright. And then come down here after this one. 1 die. Nothing. And 1 die. Getting a hit.
My horse.
25%. And the second one, second movement, they'll go 1, 2, 1, 2. And 1, 2, 1, 2. Alright. They will evade that.
Okay. Ooh.
Do a double time.
Double time. Which 4 will it be?
A 4 on that flank. We'll have him go there instead. Okay. And support. Alright. Let's start with these here. We'll go against your light bow.
Okay.
Stand.
Yep.
Okay. 2 dice plus leader bonus. Getting a retreat. They will advance there. auxilia up here. We'll go against your medium cavalry. What would they like to do? Okay, so 3 dice looking for triangles. Get 2.
Ouch.
He of few vowels, Mercates. We'll go after your unnamed centurion with 4 dice plus leader bonus. Get 2 hits. Here's a leader check. He's okay.
Come back at you with 4.
2 hits.
So you're double buffed, so you could ignore both flags unless
Let's see. Ooh,
close.
Yep. Take one of them. All right, that is all.
Hmm.
We shall evade a fighting withdrawal.
Okay. 4 dice. Crit of 8. 3 dice with leader support.
Hmm.
All right. So, advance. +1. Battle again. 3 dice against those mediums.
Wow. Okay. Let's give you 4 back. Pity block.
And 4 dice against them. From the unnamed centurion. Oh! Whiff! Take that retreat, though. Centurion, you let me down.
3 on the right.
Yeah. Yeah. Shame. We're doing so well.
All right. Let's see. Let's
We will honor your sacrifice, fallen blocks.
Well, but this is a very interesting question here. Which one do I go with? Do I go with the 3 or the 4? I guess the 3, because if you slap back, I've got a better chance of surviving. So 3 dice from the auxilia to your medium there, and I whiffed it. Jeez, unbelievable.
Oh, 2 hits and a retreat.
All right. Well, let's see if we can't do this one then. 4 dice. There we go. And 1 die for leader. Nothing. And because I'm crazy, 2 dice from those lights. Looking for a triangle. 1 triangle. Nope.
Valiant.
Well, stupid. I've just been on what I like to call my stupid slump tour in all games. It's really quite amazing to see. All right. Back to you.
Those 4. 4 dice.
And there you go. Well done. By 1 pip. That's usually the way it is. It's the heartbreaker. So 7-2. I think you've made up last week's blocks almost. So there you go. Yeah, this one, I don't know what happened. I started pretty strong and then just it fritters away. You know.
4 cards.
But
Your
it's
options are
not.
limited.
It's. I mean, in this one, it wasn't. I took some risks, and statistically, when you look at the chance of the die rolling, you should. I should have hit better on some of those things, but I didn't. When I had all 3 of those units sapped down to 1 block, it should have been just bowling pins at that point, but I whiffed it. I whiffed on the Auxilia, which, for veterans of foreign wars, they should have done better than that, but they didn't. So I'm going to see if I can't regroup here and shake it off and come back and do better with Caesar.
I also had that.
Ah, yeah,
Of that.
yeah. I pulled the 2 mounted charges right from the beginning, so I had them both in my hand with my initial 4, and that was pretty awesome because I had plans for those chariots, but again, one of them totally effective, one of them totally ineffective. And you just can't win this game with 50%. You need 75, 80% effectiveness. Oh well. All right, we'll be right back. And we are back for round number 2. And
Round 2.
round 2.
Fight.
Fight! Peter and I were just discussing that statistically, based on the results reported to Commands and Colors Net, this one is about 87% Caesarian, so I don't feel quite so bad with that one. I thought I did okay, but I was hoping there that even when you were at 4 blocks and I was at none, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to come in through and pick up 3 or 4. I'll try to pick up the spare, but it was not to be. But we'll see how this one goes. So I'm going to draw 6 cards now for Caesar. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I have my cards.
All right.
Well, good luck to you, sir.
Thanks. I think I'm going to need it with this hand. Whew. Okay. Now, the trick here, folks, and you're going to have to catch me, and Patrick, just be aware, make sure I don't move these guys like they're Julian troops.
Right, exactly.
I don't think you did you? You didn't move any mediums twice.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. All right, so let's start over here on the right. Activating those. 2. Oh. Do that then.
I'll do 4 on the left. Okay. This one moved just a single, so he can throw a spear at them. So here's 1 die. Nothing.
All right. 2 dice on those mediums. We'll clear support. Hey, 1 hit. And leader check.
Give back 4 dice plus leader. 2 hits.
Same target. 2 dice. Boo.
4 back with leader. 2 hits. You may take the retreat if you like.
Sorry, just trying to plan ahead with 4 cards.
No, I know. I know. Do a counterattack on that.
Like that.
Start with this. Against your lights. 4 dice plus leader. Advance. Go after Dmarktish. 4 dice plus leader. 3 hits. And leader check. Okay, nothing. Alright, 2 back. And you get a leader check. He's fine. Okay. These guys will attempt to finish them and run them down. 3 dice plus leader. Get them. And here's the check for leader with 1 die. Leader falls too. And then they will advance and go after those lights. What would they like to do?
I'll stand.
Okay, so here's 3 dice plus leader. 2 hits. And I think they'll just advance. Okay. And then these guys can throw a spear at those mediums, so 1 die, nothing. You get 2 more heavy troops if you want.
All right, 4 dice on those mediums. So 2.
2. And here's 4 back with leader.
Get to ignore the sword, but 2 leaders will still do it. Going after your cavalry.
They will evade that.
Okay. 4 dice.
Oh, good evade. Outflanked. Medium here against your heavy cavalry. So 4 dice plus leader. Forced to retreat, I believe. Yep. Okay. They will advance. Battle again. 4 dice plus leader. Forcing retreat. And cavalry here. Go after yours. 3 dice plus leader. 2 hits and a retreat. You'll advance. attempt to run them down the hill. 3 dice.
Because the retreat. Let's say yeah. So there you go. Well done, sir.
Wow. Wow. That is, man. Caesar just sits back and says, "Oh, they were coming to attack. Oh, how adorable." As Samuel L. Jackson would say, "Will allow me to retort." Yeah, we got 7-2, so +5 for you on the first one, and 7-0 on this one, so 9-7. Hooray!
Well done.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, having 6 cards, lots and lots of options. I had a double time and a line command. I was holding the line command for a while just to see what you were up to in the center. But I had a lot of stuff that I could, between the counterattack and playing on the left and the outflank there, that it just, once it gets going, that
Yep, I was just trying to get that heavy cavalry and chariot in there of that leader, but
yep.
nope, wasn't to be.
Well, what do we think of this one? Eh?
Feels a little lopsided.
It is indeed. We've both beat the hell out of the poor Pontics. Pharnaces, I guess it's historically accurate, but it just didn't seem compelling. Seems very surgical. Like if you can just exploit a crease, you avoid the heavies in the middle, because that's a bloodbath. If you can go for the flanks, that seems to be the way to do it.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to do anything in the middle.
Yeah.
I've got 2 left cards. It's either focus on the left or focus on the right. I arbitrarily chose the right because it was further away from Caesar.
Right.
So I guess that wasn't arbitrary then. And then over the course of the battle, I had the red and a blue and a green. So I felt pretty good, but you just came in there and tore it up.
Well, that's what's deceptive about it, because I felt the same way as you in the last one. It's like, okay, I'm down a lot of blocks, but I've got the 4 cards were not necessarily a limitation. I could do things.
You just punched me too hard over there. I mean, just taking out the leader and all those blocks in short order was just rough.
Yeah, especially when the support force came in, the heavy cavalry and the heavy chariot, and I was able to flank them. That was, well, I've learned from the best on that one. You have taught me the power of getting that one, and I thought that medium cavalry was about done, but as long as he can go in there and just prevent anybody from running away, that's what they do. Well, then we will move on. Our next one is my historical research, and we will continue on with the exploits of Caesar, because, as we pointed out, a general's job is never done. As we come to near the end of our Roman civil wars here, and then we'll move on to Imperial Rome for our next set. But we hope you've enjoyed this. And if you take a moment to click the like and subscribe button there down on the YouTube, more than anything, we value your comments if we miss something, or if you want to opine about different strategic options for this one. Roll better. Yes, we know that one. But we really appreciate when you guys are enjoying them. We have swings of good and bad luck on both sides here. If you want to comment on it, we love to see it. And putting our current supporters up there on the screen right now. So if you are inclined to support, we certainly welcome it, but that is not at all expected of you. So we just glad you're enjoying the ride here with us. And Peter, as always, a great time this evening, and I look forward to playing with you next week.
And like Patrick said, please go ahead and hit that like button. Apparently it helps the YouTube algorithms.
It does. And even that notification bell, because then you will be made aware of when I post these things, and I try to get at least one out every week. So thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next week. Take care, sir.
Good night.